Hey guys, so those of you who have me added on Facebook definitely already heard this weird tale, but for the rest of you who don't, which is most of you, I just have to share the general weirdness of this situation, although I am by no means complaining. I am happy for it. I'm just very confused how it happened. So, little backstory. This is the guitar that I learned how to play guitar on when I was 14 years old. It is also the guitar my dad learned how to play guitar on when he was about the same age. And I think it was secondhand when he had it. So it's an old girl. But yeah, he's basically told me if I could learn to play it, I could have it. So I called his bluff, I did it, it's mine. So that part of it, cool. And, there's certain things that have always been kind of problematic with it, whatever, but I mean, in other ways, it's still kind of awesome. I still love it. But I mean, yeah, I did more or less graduate to a regular acoustic instead of a Spanish classical acoustic like this one is. But I still wanted to, hold on to this one for sentimental value and occasionally still play it. But, the last time I had the strings changed out on it, I believe I was about 19. And for some bizarre reason, the entire neck fell off the guitar. Have no idea why. Scared the crap out of me that it did. I was extremely upset and distraught over this. I was literally sobbing. My dad said, put it back in the box. Or put it in the case. I'll take care of it. And then he never did. For real, for years, I would, go check and see if he ever did anything with it, and nope, did not. So I kind of was very bummed that this one was just out of commission for years and years and years. Even when we moved into this house, 8 or 9 years ago, I went to move this up here and just checked to see if maybe, by some act of luck, maybe, no, still broken. About a year after we moved in, I looked at it again one day and was just very sad to see it still no, and started to resign myself to the fact that, maybe he never is going to follow through and do this. So I put it back in the case, stuck the case in the corner, kinda just didn't even think about it again until last week. I forget what brought it up. Oh, I remember. I was asking my dad how to achieve some specific sound. I don't even know how to describe it in words to you guys. I would have to play you a song with the tone in it to even, verbalize what I'm talking about. But how exactly you make that happen on an electric guitar. And it was, this whole thing about pedals and effects and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And I started, Googling how much those cost and looking at the price of, new amplifiers. Because, I mean, yes, I have one. It is probably older than this guitar is. And it'd be nice to have a smaller, more portable one. It doesn't have to go real loud, just needs to work. I was looking at the pricing on those, and all of a sudden it dawned on me, I wonder what classical Spanish acoustic guitars go for. So I was looking at that, and it just dawned on me of, hey Dad, would it be smarter to try and fix the one I already have, or to save up for a new one? And he was like, I can't fix the old one if you don't give me the old one to fix. I was like, wait, that's been the holdup all these years? I didn't stick it in your hand? It's like, yeah, go get it. Oh my god, fine. So I run upstairs. I go get the case, I open it up, I go to pull it out, and, lo and behold, it's very much attached. I don't know at what point it got repaired. I don't even see lines of where it got glued back on, even more weirdly. So I brought downstairs and was like, Dad, by any chance did you, at some point, probably a while ago, sneak into my room, take my guitar, fix it, and put it back, and just waited to see how long it'd take me to notice? He's like, no. Why? And I showed it to him, and he was just as perplexed looking at it, because not only is the neck very much attached again, he also could not see any marks of where it was ever disconnected. Whoever fixed it apparently did a really good job at making it pretty much seamless. You do not see where it was ever broken. It is the weirdest damn thing. He's just like, what the fuck? I was like, I don't know. Like, nobody goes in my room, so Who the hell would have even done that? I am so just perplexed on this. I even put it on Facebook, because I was just like, is it possible any local friend decided to do me a favor, got my dad in on this, waited for a rare instance where I wasn't home, which is not very often. That's why, even more, I am confused about this, because generally I'm home all the time. Every day. Most of the time, in my room. That's why I'm like, okay, it gets more bizarre to me, because how exactly did somebody get in to fix it without my knowing? Because if I'm not home, I barricade that frigging door and lock it. And how? Just how? I'm so confused. And my brother's like, oh yeah, I remember when Dad fixed that. And I was like, really? It's like, yeah, we still lived in the old house. I'm like, are you sure you're not thinking of the blue one? He's like, oh wait. Yeah, I think it was the blue one. I'm like, yeah, that. Because I remember when he fixed that one, or fixed, because when he put it back together, the wiring was never right again. But that one is the one that, you see the headstock on right over there. That's why it kind of just sits there, because I've brought it to countless people. Nobody can figure out why the fuck it buzzes like that. I've had experts take apart every piece of it, check every piece, put it all back together. I've had them swap out the wiring, and it still does it. So it's like, what the shit? No one understands why it does it. So that one, at some point, may need, like, a proper replacement, and it'll probably, just because it looks cool, like, become a wall ornament or something. But, yeah, I have, like, a different electric that is definitely not as high quality as a Strat, but it does its job. It's good enough for me for now, so whatever. But back to the tale at hand. This one, nobody can figure out who the fuck fixed it, or when, or how. Like, this is, like, a real-life mystery here that we're just not getting. Like, I'm still staring at it right now and just not understanding how. Like, is this a magic guitar that decided to put itself back together? Yeah, I know. I hear how ridiculous it sounds coming out of my mouth, and yet part of my mind has to wonder it, because just none of this makes sense. None of it makes sense. I'm so confused. But again, I am definitely not complaining. I am very happy to have it all in one piece and usable again. Well, kind of usable. We got the new strings on there, but they're still stretching. It has not gotten to the point where it's holding its tuning yet. That usually takes at least a week, and the G string never 100% adjusts right on this one. So, like I said, it has its issues. It's not perfect, but sentimental value, I still kind of love it. Plus, it has butterflies! Come on, look how cute it is! It's got little butterflies. Which I realize the fact that this was my dad's first and it has butterflies on it is probably not the greatest thing, since it's not the most manly guitar, but served its purpose. I still kind of love it. I think it's awesome how retro it is, all along the sides. Here, I'll turn it to this side because it doesn't look quite so ratchet. Not sure if you guys will be able to see it on camera or not, but there's a lot of etching in the silver of little flowers, too. And it's just really, really cute. I kind of adore it. I don't want to ever see it go. Even if I do end up buying a new one that does technically work correctly, I'm always going to hold on to this one, because this was my very first one, not counting my El Cheapo toy one from JCPenney I had as, like, a 3-year-old that, truth be told, I put through the ceiling in our old house in my room, because I decided to be Paul McCartney that day and pick it up by the neck upside down over my head, like he did at Shea Stadium with his bass, except I forgot that my bedroom in that house had a slanted ceiling, and I was in the shorter half. If I'd done it on the other half of the room, it would have been fine, but I did it over near the window, and the entire side of it went crunched in on itself, and it left a big-ass hole in the ceiling. It was all bad. But this is not that guitar. This is my first real one, and was the one I actually learned to play on, so it's always going to hold special sentimental value. It's seen some shit. It's as you can see, it's seen some things. It's got some battle scars. Those are literally rubber bands holding together a couple of the tuning pins because they cracked in half from being old. Yes, I know you can buy new tuning pins, but I don't want to. I like the originals. I'm sure at some point, if they all get to that state, I eventually will, but for now, it's like, my dad tried to epoxy one of them back together and was using the rubber band to hold it there. And the rubber band dried to it, and he tried to peel off pieces of it the other day, and was just like, oh, it's like in there. I was like, that's okay, just leave it, I don't care. The other one he took off, was like, oh, I never epoxied that one, I'm gonna put that back on then. It's like, yeah, that's probably a good idea. And it's got my initials back here, which are also his initials. But yeah, it's got issues with that, it's got issues with holding its tuning, it's got some weirdness with the spacing between the strings and the neck. If I show it to you, you can see there's quite a bit of space in here. But as opposed to this end, where they're all very, very close, I am told it's not quite supposed to be like that. Whoops, didn't mean to bump the table. Not really supposed to be like that, but, you know, it is what it is. I don't want somebody trying to piece it all back together and fucking it up, so I live with it. Like I said, maybe one day I'll buy another one, so I have one that's a bit more practically playable, but for sentimental value, I'm gonna hold on to this. It has a different tone than a typical acoustic. I mean, yes, I tried to tune it right before I started this, but I can guarantee it's already out of tune again. Let's see. Okay, it's actually not that bad yet, alright, but it's got the more Spanish, like, almost mariachi type guitar sound to it, which is kind of cool because you don't really encounter that too often outside of Mexican music, and I think it's freaking cool. And like I said, there's two other regular acoustic guitars in this house. One's Kimberly's and one is a shared one that is 50% mine, 50% my dad's, so there's that, but I will eventually save my pennies and get one that is solely just mine, but for now, this is the one I have available to me at all times that's acoustic. My others are electric, but yeah, it's had a couple of name changes over the years, because let me tell you guys something, don't ever, if you're like me and you like to name things like I do, I name everything, but if you like giving things names, don't name it after a significant other, because if you break up with that significant other, and you probably will, if you're anything like me, you will then resent the name that you gave to the item that shares a name with your now ex. So, this guitar's first name, at least that I gave it, I don't know if my dad ever gave it a name, but its first name was after my first girlfriend. Obviously, had to rename it after that, so yeah, the name I gave it at 15 is no longer its name. I later renamed it Angelita because it sounded very Mexican, and it's a kind of Spanish-Mexican sounding guitar, just felt appropriate. There's about 3 people who are subscribed to this channel who understand why I chose that name of all names. And before you find me a freak for referring to my guitar as a girl, all guitars are girls. This is a thing in how they are designed shape-wise. It's not me being a pervert. I heard this from a guitar expert themselves. The shape of a guitar is supposed to mimic the shape of a woman. Their curves, like the boobs, the waist, the hips. And obviously certain guitars are shaped differently. Like, for instance, oh my god, that guitar is really dusty. I don't want to pick that one up. Okay, let me go grab my other one, and I'll show you what I mean. It's also dusty, but not as horribly dusty, so I told you I really need to get back into practice with these, but okay, just for the sake of argument. So the shape here is a little bit lopsided. The hips are still fine, but, you know, the chest area is a bit lopsided and different. Everyone knows that most women are not exactly even on both sides on the top, so, you know, certain guitar makers make point of using that in part of their design on guitars. Now, obviously, this whole thing doesn't hold true when it comes to, like, the crazy-shaped guitars like hearts and flowers and stuff, but more traditional-shaped guitars like this, or like that, they're based on the shape of a woman. So that is why I always have referred to my guitars as girls. Not everything that I give a name to is necessarily a girl name, but when it comes to guitars, they are always girls because of that. So, in case anybody was curious, if anybody didn't know that little trivia fact, now you do. It's not just me, that actually is legit a thing of why they're shaped the way that they're shaped. But anyhow, let me put that little sucker back down for now. I'll put it away in a minute. But yeah, so, yeah, that's my chintzy little electric guitar that I have used since the other one's wiring doesn't work. Still sounds great. Happens to be a friggin' Daisy Rock guitar, but it still sounds great, so I really don't care. Yeah, so, anyway. That is about all I have to say on this. I just wanted to share the weirdness of the mystery surrounding this guitar, because none of us had been able to figure out how the hell it went back together. Or who did it. Like, I mean, if anyone knows who did it, who is local, I would love to know the answer to this. I have a few suspicions of who it might have been, and how they might have feasibly been able to do this, but if it wasn't any of them, then I am truly stumped. But I have about 3 guesses of people it could have potentially been, so I don't know. I'm just thankful to have it all in one piece again for the first time in many years, and the day that I discovered it was back in one piece, not gonna lie, I just sat here hugging it like this for dear life for like a good hour. I did not want to let go of it. Just, oh my gosh, I forgot how much I missed this guitar. I don't care how ridiculous I look for how oversized it is compared to my teeny little body. That's, again, why that other guitar is so small, is it actually fits better on me, but no, I love this one because this was the first one, and just, even if my dinky little girly hands have a hard time reaching all the way around the really wide neck on this, don't care. I don't care. I love this guitar. I am never getting rid of this guitar. It's mine, will always be mine. Even if I add other guitars to the mix, still keeping this one. So, anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. So, as usual, if you like this video, click the like button. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe, leave comments down below. And until next time, bye!